Welcome to this special edition of Around the Horn. My name is Derek Lopez, here with my co-host
Brad Pointer. Today our topic is solar system volcanoes. We also have a special guest, Mario Jimenez, which will be on the show later on, so it should be a pretty interesting show later on.
Yes, it should, Brad. But before we get started, I wanted to talk about Olympus Mons, the largest volcano in our solar system, or is it? According to a source by National Geographic, an article suggests that Olympus Mons is just a small piece of a larger volcano on Mars called Tharsis Rise. Tharsis Rise stretches 7,000 kilometers across Mars, and if this is true, a title held by Olympus Mons for billions of years may be taken away. This would be an amazing breakthrough.
That's very interesting. Olympus Mons, if you're watching, you better watch out for this newcomer. Alright, let's get right into it. Time for our top 10. Barely making our top 10, ranking at 5.7 miles high, is Mauna Loa. Earth just barely squeaks in the top 10 with this active volcano on the island of Hawaii. Mauna Loa is one of the many active and dormant volcanoes created by a hotspot beneath the Pacific Plate.
That's very interesting, Brad. It sounds like we should be very careful with this young prospect of a volcano in the future.
Yeah, I know. If this volcano would have erupted more during the off season, then it would have definitely been at least top 5.
Yes, indeed. Coming in at number 9 in our top 10 is Maxwell Montes, 6.8 mile high, 530 miles in diameter, located on the planet Venus. Scientists aren't sure how the mountain range formed, but they believe that it contains large amounts of iron pyrite, aka fool's gold. Brad, your thoughts?
I wish it was filled with real gold. I mean, then I'd fly up there right now and actually check it out for myself.
Yes, sir, I would too.
Coming in at number 8, which ranges at 7.8 miles high, is Elysium Mons. This Martian volcano is a big fish in a little pond, metaphorically speaking at least. It is the tallest volcano in Elysium Planitia, a region in Mars' eastern hemisphere that is the second largest volcanic system on the planet.
Sounds like it always be second best, Brad, just like the Miami Heat.
Yeah, they just can't seem to win. That's 2 games in a row by double digits?
Yes, sir. The first being having LeBron James shut down by Kevin Durant.
Yeah, let's just say Kevin Durant is the Mars of our top 10.
Yes, he is. Cracking our list at number 7 is 8.7 mile high Pavonis Mons, the shortest of 3 volcanoes that make up Tharsis Montes. It is also suggested to be home to glaciers. Brad, what's your take?
That's very interesting about the glaciers, but what I really like about this volcano is how it's even though it's so small, it's very scrappy. It kind of reminds me of Ramon Sessions, don't you think?
Yes, it does. He really compliments the Big Three well in L.A.
Yeah, he sure does. Coming in at number 6 is Arsia Mons, which ranges at 9.9 miles high. This is the second largest volcano in the previously mentioned volcano chains Tharsis Montes on Mars. Based on the discovery of certain geological features on the volcano, scientists think that Arsia Mons may be home to glaciers. Derek?
That's very interesting, Brad. I wonder if the eruption shoots out ice or lava or...
Yeah, what? Yeah, I guess we could take a trip up there, but it'd probably cost $1 million in gas.
Yeah, probably so.
Yeah, with these gas prices going this high.
That's right, man. Damn near $4 a gallon.
Yeah.
Now taking a break from our top 10 largest volcanoes in our universe, I'd like to take a moment to introduce our special guest for the evening, Mario Jimenez, coming to us via satellite from Chicago, Illinois.
Yeah, he'll be talking about cryovolcanoes, so it should be a pretty interesting show. Mario, how you doing?
Doing well. How are you guys?
That's
good.
Doing good.
Well, it's a pleasure to be on the show. I've been a longtime fan for years. Getting right into it, though, talking about cryovolcanoes, the first thing I want to mention is that scientists have been debating about the existence of these ice volcanoes called cryovolcanoes for years. Now, topography and surface composition data have allowed the discovery of these icy landforms, and the results were displayed on the American Geophysical Union meeting in San Francisco a couple years back. Now, on the moon Titan, which is one of the first cryovolcanoes I do want to talk about, there is a cryovolcano about 3,000 feet above ground, and this ice volcano, sitting in a spawn of other ice volcanoes, is nicknamed Sotra Facilia. So what is a cryovolcano? Well, a cryovolcano, instead of erupting magma or lava, it's going to erupt methane gas, ammonia, water, these other volatiles that aren't normally found in normal eruptions. Now, what we do find with cryovolcanoes is that they're most commonly found on moons orbiting planets like the outer rim, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, you name it. What do you guys think?
So, with that being said, do those cryovolcanoes, does that have anything to do with the ones found on Mars, such as Pavonis Mons and Acea Mons?
Why, yes, in fact, they do. These are some of the more of the rare cryovolcanoes that we do find in the solar system. Like those that you were talking about, they are going to be cryovolcanoes, but as I was saying earlier, they're going to be rare because it's going to be found on Mars' surface instead of something like, on an outer moon where it's very cold. But then again, you can never tell with lots of those planets.
With that being said, Mario, I guess the only real question is, are these cryovolcanoes a real threat to our existence here on Earth?
A threat to our existence on Earth? No. Is the Miami Heat a threat to the NBA?
I like that. I like that, Mario. Just because of that, you're staying for the rest of our show.
We'll be back in just a minute with our top 5 largest volcanoes in our universe.
Welcome back to another special edition of Around the Horn. I'm Brad Pointer. This is Derek. And we also have a special guest, Mario Jimenez. If you're just tuning in, Derek here will be recapping from our other planets.
Here we go. Coming in at number 10 was 5.7 mile high Montelello. Number 9, Maxwell Montes, coming in at 6.8 miles high. Number 8, 7.8 mile high Elysium Mons. Number 7, Pavonis Mons, 8.7 miles high. Number 6, Arcea Mons, 9.9 miles high. And here we go with our top 5.
Montreal.
Coming in at number 5, Bussol Montes, located on the moon low of Jupiter. Mario, what are your thoughts on this?
Thank you, Derek. Now, according to Where the Hot Stuff Is by Rosalina Lopes, Bussol Montes is a collection of 3 mountains on Io, a moon of Jupiter, all connected and raised up by a plain. Now, this plain is kind of like a plateau, and these 3 mountains are going to be on top of it. The mountain termed south is the tallest of the 3. One side of the mountain has such a steep slope, 40 degrees, that scientists think it is the site of a huge landslide. This is really interesting work, especially for scientists to be figuring out what happened, especially on this volcano. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Mario.
Yeah, that's real interesting about how the landslide happened. I wonder how.
And here we go with number 4, Brad.
Coming to you at number 4, which ranges at 11.3 miles high, is Asclepius Mons. This volcano on Mars is the tallest of the 3 volcanoes known as Tharsis Montes, which appears in a straight line near Olympus Mons. Asclepius Mons has a central caldera that has 2.3 miles deep. It was first spotted by the Mariner 9 spacecraft in 1971 and then named the North Spot as it appeared as a spot in the dust storm photographed by the spacecraft. Later images revealed it is a volcano that the spot has renamed.
That's very interesting, Brad. It would be quite interesting if we could get another space shuttle up there to take a look at it now, 20-some years later.
Yeah, or another spacecraft just to take pictures would be pretty interesting also.
Yes, it would. Alright, before we say goodbye to our special guest, Mario Jimenez, I would like to let him introduce the number 3 largest volcano in our universe. Mario, take it away.
Thank you, Derek. Now, Saturn's moon of Iapetus has a couple of weird features. The first being that there is a huge crater on the surface of the moon that gives the appearance of the moon like the Star Wars Death Star. That's right, the Death Star. One of the second weird features is that there is an equatorial ridge. Now, this ridge has peaks going up from about 12 miles high. This makes Iapetus look like a walnut. Now, scientists aren't sure how the ridge forms, but they have hypothesized that it was either a remnant of the moon's earlier oblique shape, ice materials pushed up from beneath the moon's surface, or even the remainder of a collapsed ring. Now, guys, it's been a pleasure working with you guys, and I'm sorry you're going to have to say goodbye.
It's been a pleasure having you on the show, Mario.
Yes.
Well, thank you guys. Have a good night.
You too.
Coming in at number 2, ranging at 13.2 miles high, is Resilvia Mons. Resilvia, on the asteroid Vestia, sits in the center of a 300-mile-wide crater. The asteroid is currently the subject of a close study for the spacecraft Dawn, which will continue to circulate through the first half of 2012, before moving on for a revenance with the asteroid Ceres in 2015. Resilvia Mons sometimes gets named the smallest peak in the solar system, but even with satellites and spacecraft monitoring faraway planets, moons, and asteroids, measuring these things is rather difficult. What do you think?
That's very interesting, Brad. I'm sure with the advances in modern technology, it won't be long before we know for sure whether it is the highest peak in our universe.
Yeah, I'm sure. Olympus Mons better watch out for now 2 competitors after that.
Yes, sir. Two other volcanoes coming for that number 1 spot.
Yep.
And now, coming in at number 1 on our top 10 largest volcanoes in the universe, Olympus Mons, measuring at a whopping 15.5 miles high, 374 miles in diameter, located on the planet Mars. It is one of several volcanoes that make up Tharsis Mons. And Olympus Mons, all the planets and all the other volcanoes on Mars, measure to be 10 to 100 times larger than Earth's largest volcano, Mauna Loa. Brad, your thoughts?
Man, I am not surprised this came as number 1. This has been he's been good for millions of years. I didn't think it was going to change this year.
Yes, sir. Yes, indeed. Kind of reminds me of the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Can't get beat.
No, sir. Thank you for tuning in to this special edition of Around the Horn.
We'll be back to our regular sports broadcast, so tune in tomorrow at the same time.
I'm Derek Lopez.
And I'm Brad Pointer.
Stay classy, South Plains.
I wanted to say San Diego so bad.